Hello, everybody. Welcome to Novene C TV, and it's your girl, Novene C. And today we will be talking about working from home during the pandemic. And I have two wonderful guests with me, two of my friends. We've been friends for 30 plus years. Please welcome Karin and Shawana. So Karin, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Karin. I am a registered nurse. I'm a single mom, a grandparent, and I've been working from home less than a year. So it'll be a year in April.
Okay. Shawana.
And I'm Shawana. I've been working from home now just over a year. I work in the field of labor, mainly supporting classified school employees, bus drivers, food service workers, repair professionals. I'm married with one child.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so honored to have you two ladies on my show. And I want to first say, you guys are so blessed to be able to work from home because, you know, during this pandemic, a lot of people have lost their jobs. So, you know, I want to let you guys know that you're blessed. And, you know, our heart goes out to the people who lost their job and or hasn't been back to work yet. You know, it's been a whole year. And so what I want to ask you guys is how was it transitioning from going to work in the office and then working at home?
Well, my transition, I think it was trying to find the right location to be able to set up my computer because when I work, it's confidential information. I have to be in an area where it's private, and then it's in my room, my bedroom in here. Right. That's the most private I can be. But I think the adjustment, it went pretty smooth. But it's just different when you're by yourself. I feel like it's more quiet.
Right.
Compared to being in a group environment where a lot of people are in the building. Yeah.
How was the transition for you, Shawana?
I would say it was pretty smooth. I had always kind of worked in a hybrid environment, both in the office as well as at home. And I actually work away from home. So I always had kind of like an office setup. So it was more of the logistical pieces for me, you know, getting the things to truly get comfortable in a permanent work environment. I mean, I always had things like the internet, but purchasing everything from a stand to Zoom light, making sure your VPN is set up, you know, and those various other things were nuanced. But I found it to actually cause me to be more productive in a lot of ways because it's like I lose track of time. You know, it's not like I got to get up in the morning and, you know, get in the car and commute. You know, I am literally just walking down the hall. I mean, getting up and getting dressed is part of my daily routine. So it was more of a mindset change. The work and everything about it was the same, but logistical in terms of location was different. So I lose track of times in a lot of ways, you know, whether it's, you know, what time I start, to reminding myself to take a break or take a lunch, to stand up and stretch, go take a walk. But I found it to be beneficial in a lot of ways. Although I'm fully aware of what's going on in the outside world, it's allowed me to truly just focus because I live at home, primarily just my husband and I. And so I don't have a lot of the other interactions or partially distractions that I would normally have in an office environment.
Right, right. And that's what I was going to ask you. Karin, do you feel like you're more productive at home or when you were in the office?
I think I'm more productive at home because typically in the office, there's like about 4 people in the area. And a lot of times there's distractions, like a coworker will ask a question. They may walk over to you, a manager with like, hey, you know, so it's like potential for interruptions and distractions. It's like noisier in the environment. And when I come here, I'm more relaxed. I'm more focused. And I think time-wise, you know, I think it's better, you know, for myself.
Bro, you look relaxed. Hell,
you don't know how relaxed I am. Like I'm so comfortable. Like you say, you get up and get dressed. I go from here to right there. Comfy,
right.
Cozy.
Right. So do you feel like once like the jobs go back to working in the physical location, that they should still offer some people, if they prefer, to work from home?
I think people prefer to work from home. But I think that, gosh, that I don't know if I'm freezing. Am I freezing?
No.
Okay. So I think that I just know I can speak for myself. I like working from home. I don't have to commute, even though it's not a very long commute.
Yeah.
But I don't have to get up, get out in the elements, and especially because I work in the middle of the night. And so 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm right here in my home,
Right.
no problem.
So what about, what are some of the challenges from working from home?
Oh, like, I don't know if you hear my dogs. They like to camp outside my window and bark at whoever's going down the street at 2 a.m.
Right.
And so the background noise is the main thing. The other challenges are occasionally the internet company may have like an issue. Like I think the last day that I worked this week, it's like all of a sudden my internet wasn't working. And so I'm in the middle of like, what just happened to my internet? I don't know. Or like I had like a power surge, or when PG&E had did the rolling blackouts, things like that. It was interrupting my work, you know, and so I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was all panicked, like, I might have to go in. I might have to get ready and go into the building, you know. So those are the things that kind of interrupts the distractions, and then internet, like technical issues occurring.
Have you had challenges, Shawana, working from home?
I really haven't. It's been seamless in a lot of ways. Most times in the day, I'm home alone for the most part. I mean, occasional deliveries, you know, I mean, we have had a couple of earthquakes.
Really?
You know, so kind of going through those, and or being in the middle of a meeting and have the person on the other end on the Zoom call go experience one. But I'm literally in my home office, you know, so the internet, you know, is literally right behind me.
Right.
So I haven't had any disruptions. It's like I said, it's been more of a convenience, which is in a lot of ways caused me to almost forget or lose track of time. So if anything, I've had to kind of discipline myself and condition myself to stepping away, to taking those breaks. I like to follow the 20-20-20 rule. You know, every 20 minutes, look away for 20 seconds at something that's at least 20 feet away.
Okay.
Because if not, I'm just staring at the computer, you know, all day, every day, almost robotic. But it's allowed me to actually connect seamlessly with people that I normally wouldn't be able to in a normal non-sheltering environment because of having to travel.
Right, right. That is one good thing about it. But since you guys have been at home, like, do you feel isolated any kind of way, or are you comfortable because you have your loved ones in the house with you?
I tell my husband all the time, I said, you're my only human contact. You physically, I touch, but everybody else is like through Zoom. So, you know, whether it's Zoom, I mean, great that I'm invited to, you know, participate on Novene TV via Zoom, but all of my meetings are on Zoom, and my employer, our offices are closed. So all staff are only communicating primarily on Zoom. We've even set up Zoom meetings for various family parties and connecting so that we don't lose touch, you know, and we have, you know, Apple devices. So whether it's FaceTime and group text and whatnot, we've tried to still keep that connection despite not being able to physically, you know, touch one another. Right. So yeah, it's different, but considering the circumstances, it keeps us safe and it still allows us to stay connected.
Right, right. What about you, Karin?
I'm kind of a solitary person anyway. So I mean, like, I connect with my coworkers at work, but then a lot of times, you know, we don't connect outside of, but I miss seeing them and interacting with them, but you know, I keep going, I keep moving regardless, you know, so I don't need that much contact with a lot of people, just my family and my friends.
Right.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you guys started doing new during this pandemic?
I did a failed well, I had one zucchini. I started trying to garden a little bit. I had one zucchini come out, and then all of a sudden it just didn't make it. The rest didn't make it.
Okay. What about you, Shawana?
I find myself cleaning more than I would normally, largely because I've been trying to find things that almost distract me because work is now unlimited because it's at your home. It's like I have to find activities that take my mind, almost make me forget, so having to set alarms, going downstairs, kind of walking around, cleaning. We have a treadmill. Actually, I wasn't using it. It sat there for about 2.5, almost 3 years. Now I'm actually using it, to get my 30 minutes in each day.
Oh, good.
Got some fruit trees, so go out in the backyard, mess with them, or, I constantly check in the window. You hear a sound and it's like, okay, what's that? Who getting a delivery? What my neighbor's doing. I think I heard a dog. Was that an earthquake? So it's just like little things that make you want to just step away and just mentally take a break. I've been taking advantage of that whenever I can, because it's so easy to just get caught up. For me, Zoom is my life. I always tell people I'm zooming. I Zoom meetings all day. I literally just had one like maybe 30, 45 minutes before I jumped on this call.
Right.
And I would have another one after, but I love NoveneCTV.com. So, right.
Oh my God. So, well, you said that you started exercising more, which is a good thing. I want to know if anything else changed, like if you guys change your eating habits or your sleeping habits. Have any of that changed since we've been on shut down?
Oh yeah, I got that COVID body. Don't let it fool you. I got at least 10, maybe 15. It's easy to snack. If I showed you the snacks I got sitting up here between the almonds and the beef jerky, the jelly beans, the Snickers squares, the Starburst, it's right. It's home. So, I got it. And the sleeping habits, yes. I could take a nap. I used to take about 2-3 hour naps. Give me 20, 30. I can take like 2-3 of them a day and just be refreshed and ready to go.
What about you, Karin?
My sleeping habits because right at the beginning of the pandemic, I switched to that 2 o'clock to 10:30 shift in the morning. So usually I'm spazzing out and kind of blanking out is because normally I start falling asleep about 6:30 because I've been up since 2 in the morning. So my sleep is off.
Just because you're shift.
Yes, mostly because of my shift. But I know for sure COVID, I've been doing a lot of eating fast food a lot more, even though I'm in the house. I'm not the, want to cook all the time person anyway, but I've been eating a lot of fast food and all this right in the midsection here.
Right.
The back, I start feeling it, but I started back working out recently.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. Yeah. Because I've noticed that my sleep has been off. Well, my sleep has been off for like a year. And then exercising, because now just you have to walk. But since the weather is nice, I've been getting out more. But when it wasn't, I wasn't really exercising much. And what was the other thing? Eating, I try to eat healthier.
Yeah.
But it was hard, especially mine was because I was stressing and grieving, right? So I really wasn't eating healthy, but now I'm more conscious of that. So I'm trying to make healthier choices. And I noticed I gained weight, but I had lost so much weight. I have room to gain weight. So,
girl,
but it's gained, right here in the middle. But I'm still cute.
No, it's proportionate, and I'm looking at our skin is glowing. I don't know what we're eating, but it's working for us. I know I just started taking a multivitamin. Now this allows me to have a routine,
right?
With the meals, with conscious health choices, hair, skin, vitamins, water, hydration, all of that. I'm in my house. I get up and go. It's right there,
right?
So yeah, but it looks good.
Right,
y'all beautiful. I love y'all.
Thank you. Aww, you are too, honey.
I feel it. Thank you, boo.
Water. Oh, Karin, when I asked, did you start anything new during the pandemic? You didn't mention a big thing that you started.
Oh my gosh. I'm working on my bachelor's degree, and I'm right now in my applied healthcare statistics. Almost done with my first term, and it's all online. Oh my God.
And she's doing amazing. Because she's, all my friends are overachievers. All my friends are super duper smart. All my friends are hecka controlling. So anyway, but
love it, boo.
Karen is doing awesome. She's doing she's like accelerated. So like if she has like this amount of time, she takes this amount of time. Like she don't be playing, you know, straight A's. If not all A's, then B's and A's. Yeah.
Next Novene CTV postgraduate college education, mature adult female. Karin, congratulations.
Thank you.
Look, cheers.
and she works at night. And she has, you know, she has.
I got a grandbaby and grown people.
Grandbaby there. What I was going to ask you, ladies, is do you have any other members of your household working from home as well, or do they actually physically go to work?
Well, before TJ started more work cutting at the shop, he was cutting hair here at the house. So I got him 2 barber chairs. So then that way, just in case, only certain clients can come here.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
Screen them and make sure everything is safe. Yes, because you're a registered nurse.
Right. And then they go through the outdoors past, you know, they don't come through the house unless it's his dad.
Right. Or my son.
Family only.
Right. Family.
So noted. I didn't know that. Thank you.
Oh, with the haircut?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's
down share that.
Yeah.
TV.com. So no. It's just me, home alone, you know, with the alarm on. You know, don't come by the house.
And you got, you know, this is
bench. Oh, I'm Jackie Dowder all day.
Yeah.
No. But it's just me working from home, which helps me to be uber productive all day, every day. You know, 10 to 12 hour shifts. Like I said, mentally, if I don't remind myself, it's easy to forget. But my husband, with his work schedule, he does call, text, check, and when he comes home, it's like that's my warning. Okay, how much longer are you gonna be?
Right.
You know, so I like to call him my warden. You know, because he makes sure that I may get to the driveway, but he get the mail. You know, I barely make it to the curb. You know, and just everything is supervised. You know, this is legit. This pandemic, this ain't no joke. Go shopping once a month, weekends. You know, we around the house, figured it out ourselves. You know, only necessities, just necessities. Right. Yeah, but no, it's just he and I in the house. That don't come by. You know, you will get the peephole, the sanitation. You got your mask. The wipes. We got an air purifier.
Temperature check.
Girl, we got that too. We got that too recently. Yeah. Look, it's no touch. You know, it could cinch you and be like, yeah.
But you know what? You must be upper management, because labor, we always know to take a break.
You know she's upper management.
Right. You up there, girl, because we don't work like that. I was like, I don't have to remind myself. I'd be like looking at the clock on the edge of the computer, like it's about that time.
She's a director.
Yeah.
She has employees. That's what I was going to ask you, Shawana. Have you noticed your employees, have they taken more sick days or less sick days during the time that we've been at home?
See, that's a trick question, because if any of them see this video and they know that I'm watching them, they might actually take more than they actually taken. But they've actually taken less.
It seems like they will, because they're at home. Yeah.
They're at home, and the flexibility that comes at times with the work that we do. I mean, our system is set up where your cameras need to be on via Zoom. So you should be visible, which means you should be prepared and engaged, you know, focused, not texting on emails and other stuff. You got to be in the meeting. But I think, again, sheltering at home allows for a safer, healthier environment. So a lot of the other things that they would be engaged in that would potentially make them more tired or exposed, sick, or whatever, they're not out there engaged in. So they're there every day. I value, I respect, I appreciate in a lot of ways. Right. And so for me, you know, it's more of me serving them and ensuring that they have what they need, because I know that what they do every day sustains all of the members and the workers out there, you know, in the workforce who aren't as fortunate as we are to be able to shelter and work from home. My employer, we're not an essential employer. So, you know, we have no choice, but if we're going to sustain our employment, to work from home. And so certain accommodations have been made. So we have to do to support the workers. And some of them, like you, Karin, you know, the night shift employees or the early morning employees with food service who are preparing the meals to either deliver, you know, via school bus to homes or, you know, in the community. Yeah, we do all of that to make sure that our workers have what they need, which means that we have to be flexible in terms of our hours and available, you know, through any means. And Zoom affords that to still meet the needs of the job. So I'm very fortunate and blessed to be here and just able to still sustain myself and our workforce and thrive in a lot of ways, because we found ourselves to be more productive now than we were then with these flexibilities. Honestly, I don't know if we will be able, you know, there's no normal. Let's not talk about going back to normal. To some degree, this is the new normal. You know, it potentially could be a hybrid environment. I know one of the questions you asked is, you know, what do we anticipate when we go back? You know, it may not, you know, this pandemic is, you know, this virus, coronavirus is very similar to what the flu looks like, you know, so to some degree, it will always be out there. So we're going to have to honestly adapt our environment to how we survive. So I can see some sort of a hybrid. My employer's not to a place where they actually having the conversation yet with the workers or the staff union, but I can see our environment being totally different when we return, because there'll still need to be a level of distancing and safety precautions that limit the total number that allow it to congregate in the environment that we've built our success on. So yeah, things will be different.
So Karin, do you think you've had less sick time or about the same?
I think it's about the same. I mean, you know, I think because I was thinking about what time I took off. I had my vacation days, and then I had that bereavement day when my oldest brother died from COVID. So that was like pretty much it. I don't think it's more. It's about the same. I wouldn't say it's changed.
Right. I was just thinking, because I know sometimes, like some of the times when I would take sick days, it would be like if my son was sick, one of my sons, like especially my oldest one, because he had asthma really bad. So even though my mom used to watch him, she didn't feel comfortable when he was sick with his asthma, you know, because that was his breathing and it was serious. So so even if I was working from home and he was sick, I could still do what I had to do, because he, you know, as long as I'm there near him and can watch him. So I think, Shawana, with some of your members, that might be the case. Like, even if their child is sick or something like that, they can, you know, still be at home and still monitor their child and do their work. So that's one good thing I like about the option of working from home, because I think that should always be an option for certain people if the job allows for it. Like if it's, you know, on the computer and stuff, why not? And like since now we've gotten so used to using Zoom, like why do I have to actually physically show up to a meeting when I can just be on the, you know, on the camera? Like what's the point of my physical body being there?
You know, sometimes with my the staff or members that I'm on with, the workers, you know, those who have kids who randomly interrupt, you know, pets, you know, whether it's the cat that walks in front of the camera or the dog that barks in the background. I was on a meeting not too long ago, and one of my members actually grabbed their dog Buster, and he was right. And I know him by name because, you know, he's that's what he do. You own the computer long enough, okay, it's my time. You know, but it's a casual reminder that you do have to make accommodations, because people are in their home environment. You know, they're comfortable, they're with their families, you know, and for those who have it, you know, they're fortunate in so many ways, because at the same time, I have members or I have staff who live alone, you know, and they're not used to the sheltering, you know, and so there's a slight disconnect, and it can cause different things like depression and other feelings of feeling isolated, you know, and you're trying to give your best to support someone else, but you're struggling. You know, so you almost have to suppress that, and you have to take the time. You know, a lot of times I tell my staff, I respect and I appreciate so much the work that they do, you know, how much they give, you know, as well as my members. But you got to realize that you are going through something too, you know, so you got to almost do a self-assessment, check yourself, you know, use your support system and feel comfortable reaching out for help, or better yet, reaching out to someone else to offer support or words of encouragement. You know, even if you just call and say, hey, how you doing? You know, and then be quiet and listen. You know, it makes a difference, because we're all struggling in our different ways right now. You know, we're all trying to give our best, but at the same time, it's masked behind us just simply trying to survive. And so this work, this environment, this connection, you know, this message, it all feeds a larger purpose, and we are here to support one another. And at the same time, that requires us to know, you know, get comfortable you know, with the limitations, and at the same time capitalize on the advantages, you know, so that people can thrive on it and at the same time know that we're here to support.
Right, right.
I know I could say one thing is that I noticed from working from home, I talk to patients longer on the phone because I know that there are a lot of people that live alone, and I could tell the difference in some people like to stay on the phone longer because they're by themselves, they don't have family nearby, they can call for advice or whatever, but I might end up being on the phone with that person for like 30 minutes because, you know.
I'm gonna call you, Karen. You got a direct line? So
no direct line, sorry. You know,
777-9311.
Right. Because it's actually night, the shift I work, there's a lot of people who have insomnia or depression. It just will be whatever, a lot going on. And so I end up talking to people for an extended period of time a lot because they're lonely, just want to talk, you know, whatever. But occasionally I'll talk to a person, they feel so comfortable, especially a male, they're like, could you call me?
It's that voice, girl. It's that
I'm
voice.
like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
What's your name again?
They're like, my number's right there. Like they want me to write their number down and call them like later. I'm like, sir, I can't do that. But it was nice talking to you. Call during the shift if you might get me, you know. But it's just like people are just lonely. They don't have anyone around, and you know, it's everybody's isolated. But sometimes I feel really bad. It just kind of affects because I'm like, this person is there alone. They don't have any family. They're up in age, or you know, it's just sad, you know, that people are going through that. But I know everyone's going through something. People have had a lot of anxiety. There's been a lot of depression. So yeah.
They probably feel comfortable talking to you, you know, because you listen to them. You have that calming voice. And they're like, okay, this lady, you know, gets me. She's listening to me. She understands what I'm going through, and she's trying to help me. So that's probably why they really want to keep talking to you and have you call them.
And healthcare workers as a whole, Karen, I mean, the work that you do, you know, I mean, it's one thing to advise and console people, but you internalize some of that too. So, I mean, you guys have been on the front lines, you know, thankfully you're able to work remotely. But listening to and advising people who are struggling, you know, the mental and emotional toll that takes on you as well. So the fact that someone, you know, can see through that voice and, you know, and assess your appearance and want to connect with you in a different way, you know, that says volumes for you. So I just want to say personally, I know I had an appointment recently myself, you know, I had to write one of those comment cards out, just thanking them, because I don't want you to think that it's not noticed that you guys are risking yourselves on a day-to-day basis with this pandemic to ensure that, you know, we get the support that we need. So thank you personally for the work that you do.
Oh, thank you.
So what do you guys miss the most about going into the office and working with your coworkers?
You can't replace that day-to-day interaction. There's nothing like being able to walk down the hall, you know, and just have that personal conversation with someone. You know, there's nothing like, you know, even that commute time was therapeutic. You know, just being in the car, just listening to the music, you know, I mean, just there's certain routines that you got comfortable with, just getting out into the fresh air, you know, watching nature change, you know, some of that has been replaced with and don't get me wrong, I done some upgrades in my house, and the house is cleaner than it's ever been, and, you know, the smells, but there's something about just that it just, you almost lose that reminder that you're alive because you're engaging and interacting. You know, I felt a different level of fulfillment when I saw and I, you know, had that rapport, you know, whether it's a senior staff person who needed a different level of support, whether it's a member and I was going physically, you know, to their work site or their meeting, you know, or whether it was me in the office and working so late I happened to see the custodians. That interpersonal, you can't be replaced. You know, it's sterile in a lot of ways because you're on a Zoom environment, and where you are trying to, in my case, you know, onboard new staff, you know, or conduct interviews, you know, and make people feel comfortable in their environment. There's a slight disconnect because the sterility of the Zoom environment. So I miss the personal, you know, engagement. It's the same in a lot of ways, but it's very different, very different.
Let me tell you, it's no more potlucks.
You
You know what I'm saying? Food with night shift, we eat. Like we would like somebody say, "Oh, it's the birthday month, the month for the month of such and such." Bring some snacks. Everybody bring their good things. We didn't have, crock pots, cakes, chips, dips, chicken.
I got that right here. What you want? We can have it right now. You got yours.
Right. Ribs. Be like, everybody eat their own. Be like. But we don't even we use Microsoft Teams, and it's all audio when we do have like a meeting. And like, in order to get the attention, or if you ask a question, they have that little thing. I click it to like put my hand up, and then somebody was like, "Oh, it shows someone had a hand up. Oh, you can put your hand up in here." People were like, everything's new to us because we weren't on that
like
before.
That right there, like that. Raise your hand like that.
You raise your hand and switch the screens.
I'm sorry.
It's good. People like
there you go. I'll put it back.
But yeah, raising the hand and getting someone's attention, and it's different because I think the meetings were even longer when we were like face to face.
Oh.
But I think they were some people were intentionally trying to ask more questions just to extend
to get
the money.
Right.
Because they're on the clock.
They didn't want to get back on the phones. That's what it was. They didn't want to get back to work. They were like, shoot, my break about to start in about 10 minutes. If we could get this on my lunch, run this meeting right into my lunch break.
Yes. I can tell you, for me personally, being married, I find my husband appreciating me I have a very good spouse. I have nothing negative to say about my husband, but having me home, because I was remote before, being able to wake up together in the mornings, have breakfast, see him off to work, him knowing that I'm at the house, not in the traffic or at the office, and coming home, having dinner together, sitting down and having a conversation, going to bed at the same time. That has made a difference. And I can see a different level of appreciation as well as understanding for the work that I do. Because being here with me, he can see it. He can feel it. He can see the piles of paper. Sometimes he'll come to the door and he'll overhear part of the conversation and realize, okay, now is not a good time. He can see me prepping and, going through the various trainings. So I think it's given a new appreciation and respect for the type of work I do, maybe that he wasn't aware of because I was physically commuting. And so it was kind of out of sight, out of mind, whereas it's on the forefront. And now it's like appreciation, and just, yeah, I'm loving this. I mean, I hate the fact that it's due to circumstances of a pandemic, but it's opened my eyes in a lot of ways and caused me to appreciate, just this connection, friendships, family, the little things that we take for granted, the mail lady, I tell you, let her come and have a package. She got to ring that doorbell. I will pause my meeting, run downstairs and run out. Thank you. And you have a good day. Because, the people who are not able to do what I'm doing, I need them to know that I respect and I appreciate the work that they do.
Right.
So everything around me is like a heightened awareness and sensitivity because we take it for granted in so many ways, especially with those who aren't able to afford or who've lost, whether their jobs, a loved one, just whatever it may have been, because this pandemic has just taken us in the worst possible way. And for those who could not adapt, it's a struggle. So I'm fortunate that I have, an environment that still allows me not only to continue, but to thrive in a lot of ways.
Right. Just like Karin said, she lost her brother to COVID. I don't know if you heard when she had said that.
On my birthday. He died on my birthday.
On her birthday, September.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like really real, and some people are still thinking that is fake or that it's not going to affect them.
I wonder who started that rumor.
That's not going to affect them. But like we know way too many people now that either had it, passed away from it, got really, really sick from it. And so it's just a lot. It's a lot to deal with. But like I said, that's what I was saying, that you guys also are blessed because you're able to work from home, still keep your job, still, you're you didn't lose anything as far as your well-being, and your what am I trying to say? Your to take care of your family you guys still have that, so you guys didn't have to depend on the unemployment or other things that some people got denied unemployment, because I know one of my uncles got denied unemployment, and that's so unfair, because he was working, and that's just another thing that he has to worry about. Not being able to work because of the pandemic. It's not like he quit, and then not getting paid, for the time that he's off. So,
yes.
Yeah. One thing I do appreciate, though, my son has done is a few times I woke up, he already had my coffee ready, like getting it ready for me. And I was like, oh, and then there's some times I'll be in the middle of working and I could be talking to a doctor, and then my son comes in with a plate of bacon, some type of breakfast in the morning time. I'm like, in my mind, I'm first ready to get irritated, like, who just walked into my room? Like, I'm at work.
Then he brings you food.
Oh, he brought me some food. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's cool. My kids don't do that. But
especially when you smell it first.
Right. I was sitting there and he come in there like, crack the door open. He put it on the side. I'm like, oh, okay.
Sound like silly bringing sugar every plate. Let me wait and see what kind of wall gonna be.
Right. Some biscuits and gravy. I'm just kidding.
So what I was gonna ask you, when you said you be driving into work listening to music, I wanted to ask, what music do you listen to?
Girl, it depends. Mary J is my jam. I got all her CDs, But then, when I'm in the LA area, I try to tune into their radio stations, because sometimes, I got to make sure I got the vibe of what's going to be playing in the office, because sometimes my staff play it. But it can be, Anthony David, it can be a little bit of Usher, a little bit of Keith Sweat, could be Mariah Carey. Yeah. Hell, don't let me get a Beyonce day. Okay, I know all the words. Is it gonna be B-Day? Or hey, So it just depends on where I am. I wake up though every morning is my gospel music. Right. I brushing my teeth in the shower. I got to get my word. And then it could be a little bit of Alicia Keys. Or what's his name? Dude, think he a Mac with the hat.
Oh wait,
Charlie Wilson, boo. And then Novene, you got me on Anthony Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yes. And permission. Can I get your permission?
Oh yeah. I love
it. So see, how you wake up. I start with a to-do list. I got my to-do. I ain't gonna show y'all, but I keep I end with one, and in the morning, so I'm focused. And depending on what I gotta do, I got my little diffuser over here. I get my aromatherapy going. Oh, wow. Right now I got lavender. And I got some fresh scent. I be having eucalyptus and mint. Wow. What kind of day I'm finna have. Got my little space heater over here. Close the door as if I got distractions outside. And so keep my don't let the live news going over here. So if so whoever in our administration at the time doing with that, so I'll be having like 3 screens, the aromatherapy, the heater, sometimes the music going, just.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Karin, what kind of music do you listen to?
Nothing like that.
I know.
I mean, it'd be all, it's like I got E40, I got some, some unnamed artist, the one from, what's the one, London B from, what's the thing that T.I. did?
T.I. and them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, it'd be all a lot of cussing and bass.
You don't listen to any rap, Shawana?
Occasionally, but I have to be conscious of, sometimes because it feeds into my mood and what's going on. And in my work environment, I have to carry a certain level of professionalism into all that I do.
So you don't be calling nobody bitches?
I
like after that E40 and
oh man. Oh no.
But
I have it's always work voice. It never stopped. But unless somebody start cursing me out.
No, I have to.
Richmond kicking.
I've made
Richmond kicking don't have nothing to do with the rap music.
Right, it don't. It don't. It don't. Rap music gonna be high. It don't give me like I'm gonna cut somebody out. I'll just be like, oh, like if I need to be like, hey, I'll throw on my Mac Dre. You already know me.
It's like, wait a minute.
It just give me like, let me wake up. Like, let me pep up.
Yeah, it just kind of give me like, let me go. We about to start this day. Right. Wake up, drinking my coffee or energy drink, depending on what I'm feeling.
Yeah. See, no, all that caffeine and that, yeah. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I keep a 5-hour energy, half at a setting. I got it right here. I will show you, boo. But the cuss words and stuff, if I need to go there, I will. Mm-hmm. But in my chosen line of work, there's a certain demeanor and, perception, that represents the organization. So you have to remain under control.
So what, your music influences your behavior?
It can. Remember I said that it's a state of mind with my to-do list, and I get up, and depending on what I'm getting into, I don't get me wrong, there's a B-day in there, it can, but for the most part, I can be a chameleon. When I need to stand out, I do, and when I need to blend in, I do that as well. So I know a little bit about the trap music, not like I used to growing up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, let the verses come on.
Right. I listen to all old stuff.
Yeah.
Karin, you're into some new local artists, right?
Yeah, it's like some unknown artists. This is one, Queen Naja.
Oh yeah. No, she's known now. She's big now.
But like it's not like a lot of people listening. Mm-hmm. I listen to some Jamaican music artists, pop.
Jamaican, huh? Jamaican.
Yeah. I also listen to some of they're like, I guess that's kind of their trap music. Vibes Cartel.
Okay.
Family Sparta. It's only certain songs. Like some of them I can't. I'll skip it. I'm like, okay, I can't listen to this. Like usually if I'm not in that mood for it, I'll just skip.
Right.
And I got me some, I do have some Eric Benet.
Yeah.
Spend My Life with You.
Man,
legs.
Oh.
That was my last. That was Eric Benet.
Right.
My last COVID live concert at Yoshi's in Oakland.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The last one. I was like, dang. Yep. So
Tommy T is about to start having comedy again.
Comedy.
Yeah.
I want a concert.
Didn't we do a COVID comedy, Novene?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I want a COVID concert. Because my last bigger concert was that Lauryn Hill.
Right.
Oh yeah, went to that.
Yeah.
That's
what I miss the most. The comedy shows and the concerts.
Mm-hmm. It just totally messed up travel. I don't want to go to a country and then get stuck because, the PCR test or whatever, you're like, you have to get your test by this amount of time. And
I'm sorry, ma'am. What is a PCR test?
Oh, I'm sorry. The PCR test, it's a COVID test, but it's a type of test that they do. Like sometimes, like certain airlines in certain locations, they request that test.
Not like COVID response.
No, that's because it checks your DNA, right, Karin? The PCR one.
I'm trying to remember. The test is not like the rapid test. They do like the swab with the nose and the throat.
Okay.
Both. But the rapid test is different. I'm sorry?
I said for us lay folks, we don't know what.
Yeah,
I need to take one.
So they just swap they get a better sample, and so the accuracy is just more on that test versus like there's some people that get that really quick rapid test where they only swab the nose. And so they're not getting enough.
If I want to.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, like for traveling, they want you to have a specific one, which is really crazy. Like to go to Hawaii, you don't want to get stuck, or you don't want to get quarantined when you really don't want to be quarantined and you want to be, out and about.
Yeah, but on here, sorry, for what is a PCR test in the context of COVID-19? It says a PCR test stands for polymerase chain reaction test. This is a diagnostic test that determines if you are infected by analyzing the sample to see if it contains genetic material from the virus. Like I was saying, the DNA, because in, you know, my field, PCR, we run a PCR to like check DNA and stuff like that. So what I wanted to ask you ladies is, do you have any advice for people working from home? Any advice or encouraging words for people who might be struggling, or just people who work from home in general?
I think the main thing is just making sure that you stretch, take your breaks. I think those are the things that are important. And the other thing is if you're having discomfort at home, because like when you're at work, they have like ergonomics, they make sure your workstation is set up a certain way, just to make sure you're doing everything to take care of yourself to work safe within the home. Like the cords, it's so different because you don't have like IT or the people who set up the, you know, they have these different things that keep the cords tied together, trip hazards and all that. So just making sure that you're safely working at home as if you are at work, because you are at work.
Right. What about
and I would say just being conscientious of your mental well-being. You know, we all have a job to do. You know, at the same time, we're responsible. We're our own first line of defense. So awareness of your health, you know, like Karin just pointed out, you know, safety, but also getting up and taking a break, walking away, forcing yourself to observe the fact that even though you are at home, you know, it's a job. So you should still observe, you know, that time to just refresh and renew, and to reach out to your support system. Right. Especially where you don't have it directly in the home with you, whether it's picking up the phone and making a call or tapping into your supervisor or someone so that they know where you feel like you're struggling. Yeah. And at the same time, setting appropriate boundaries, you know, where you do have family or pets or anything like that. You got to, just because you're home doesn't mean that you have to give up everything, you know, to continue to create some level of normalcy. The reality is you still have to set up those boundaries so that you can continue to be productive. And so for me, I can tell you it's spiritual. You know, I have my morning routine with my word and my prayer and whatnot. Like I said, I told you guys about the whole, you know, the scents that kind of stimulate me, the sounds and the music, you know, the news. And then, you know, I got the warden who comes home from work and reminds me it's time to log off. So, you know, it's like I got a whole support system around me, because it's not just about he and I, it's about me supporting my staff and then the members and workers that we represent. So right. I would say first and foremost is you got to kind of make sure you're in a place that allows you to thrive, as well as to support the work or whoever else you're sewing into.
Right, right. Mm-hmm. And so, Karin, since you have your grown children there and your grandson, like how was that? Because your daughter goes to school from home too, right?
Yeah.
So you work, go to school, she goes to school, and then you have your grandbaby. How is that? Like, how do you get things done? Basically, what I'm trying to say.
Because my door lock is now changed because of, you know, I broke my last door because I got locked out. He would I have to barricade my door a little bit just so he won't walk in. A couple times I didn't do it, and next thing you know, I'm in the middle of talking to a patient and I hear this beautiful voice saying, "Good morning." And I'm like, "Good morning, Grandma." Or he'll be outside my door and I hear him and he's like, "Grandma, open the door." And I'll be like trying, like let me hit the mute button. I'll be like, go out. You know, I hit the mute button real quick. Go outside, go, close my door, you know. But for the most part, Michelle, I bought her this when I went to somewhere. I got her this sign that says Michelle's at work. Oh, good. You know, and so she sticks that on her door, so then that way people will know, like, don't come in my room, I might be testing, or, you know, when she's doing school. And then my school has sent me a little door hanger that says testing. I leave it on my door all the time. You know, it gets ignored. It just, you know, they don't care. Yeah. So, but other than that, I mean, that's how it's working here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. It seems like you guys have a good system. But you know, they don't care. The mother, it doesn't care. They don't care what you say you're doing. They're still they're gonna say, okay, sure, we're not gonna interrupt. And then just like how you saw Xavier come in. Are you still recording? You knew that. You see the light. But
and I try to remind them, I'm like, the only days I am off work is Wednesday and Friday. I work every Monday and Tuesday and Thursday. I need to go to sleep. And so there's times I had to text them both in our little group text, like, do not walk through my door after 6:30.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
Because my son will open the door and be like, oh, my bad. Are you asleep? Like, I'm trying.
Always the sons.
I'm trying.
And it doesn't matter how old they are. And Shawana, and your son is away in the military. So do you have like a scheduled time to talk to him?
Yes and no. We have days that we check in with one another. I try to respect that fact that he's a young adult. So, you know, mother been trying not to smother him. I actually was just talking to him earlier today. He's a TDY. But days, and then I also allow the flexibility for him to reach out where needed. He's 2 hours ahead of me.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes my schedule is not always his. So we have a family kind of group text that we keep activated, and we try to ensure that we have in the morning when I'm going through my scriptures and prayers, you know, there's prayers of inspiration I share with him. And throughout the day, if I see something, you know, I'll share, you know, things with him. So it's not as routine as I'd like it to be, but it's enough to let me know that he's safe, that he cares, and he knows that he has support, you know, even though we're not physically there with him.
Right. That's great. That's great. And Zoom has made everything a little bit better. Like when he just had his, I don't know what it's called, the pinning ceremony.
Yeah.
Family were able to watch that. Like, I hope they keep that up because everybody can't travel, right? So if you, like later when everything opens up, if you can be there in person, that's great, but they should still have some sort of link so the people at home, like the older grandparents or whatever, can see all the, you know, things that their family members are doing.
I am so glad you were able to tune in. I mean, he told me later, Mom, it was just supposed to be for you and Daddy. And the fact that you chatted could have got me in trouble, but I was so glad to see and know that you were there and you got videos and you got pictures and just to feel that support, because I wanted to be there. Right. But I couldn't, considering, you know, the base was closed and whatnot, of course. But, you know, those milestones, you know, as they get older, you miss out on. And thankfully, you know, that's one of the things that's improved with this environment is being able to still connect virtually, you know, it could be a Zoom or FaceTime. So, yeah, I was glad that you were able to tune in. We were able to still be there with him, although not physically.
Right, right. So a question that I ask all my guests is, do you have a question for me?
So where do you find the time to do this channel with going to school and having children and grandbabies?
Oh, since this has been like since this channel is my passion, and since it's some kind of ways it's like my baby and therapeutic for me, I make time, just like with you guys. I set an appointment, and so I set an appointment on a certain day, and then I just take that time to record, and then I can edit, you know, anytime. So like I do that late, like when I can't sleep. I'll do that at night. And that's why I try to record these videos in advance, because like the one that I put out yesterday, I recorded that like last month or something. I just try to have stuff. I try to do the videos when I have a little bit of time. So then once I'm busy with school or, you know, with the kid, well, I just have one son that's not grown, but, you know, so when I'm not busy with the kids or the grandkids, if I'm busy with the kids or grandkids, I already have something that I can put out. You know what I'm saying? So just try to juggle. And then my time, I'm on other people's time, right? When I'm interviewing other people, but when I'm just doing a video myself, I can make the video whenever. And then, like I said, but I try to do it in advance. And so then I don't have to worry about, you know, crunch time. Like, oh, I need a video for this week. I already have some in my archives.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So I would just say, Novene, I you know, I love you. You know, you're my sister in so many ways. And I just, I'm not going to get emotional, but I respect and appreciate all that you're doing. I mean, like Karin said, a single mom, the 3 boys, in school, on a huge scholarship, your home, what you've been able to do to advance yourself financially, emotionally and mentally, despite the loss of your mom. I see this as therapeutic in so many ways, but I see how it gives back, to those who don't have a voice or who need to be encouraged. So I just, the only question I have for you is, sometimes trying to think of ways to bless people like you who are so selfless in what they do. If somebody wanted to just give back or sow into you, if there's anything else that you could be doing in life, if you did not have all that, I don't want to say that kind of holds you back, but that props you up, what would you be doing?
Oh, like if I didn't have all these responsibilities?
If you didn't have school, kids.
She's all like, let me tell you.
What's your dream?
I would just be traveling.
Just traveling?
Even COVID, I wouldn't give a damn. Like I would be somewhere on an island and I would just stay there for like, a month. Like if I have to be quarantined for a month, cool. I'll quarantine in Jamaica. That's fine. I'll quarantine.
Oh, Jamaica? Or did you say Turks and TNC?
Bora Bora, Jamaica,
the Maldives,
everywhere. Madagascar. I'm going to every continent. I'm trying to hit up every country. Like that's my dream is to travel.
Where your passport, boo? Where your passport?
What, girl? My passport.
Mine's in the safe.
Karen, you better show her. See, me and Karen travel together out of the country, so she already know my passport.
She got a passport.
Girl, Xavier does too. We official. She talk about shoot.
Me and my daughter.
Yeah,
we were supposed to go to Jamaica 2020, but COVID.
Right.
It's not a bad idea to travel with Karin. She's a damn registered nurse. So, she could.
Let me tell you what Karin tell me. So Karin, since she was in Jamaica, I just talked about this earlier. Karin said, look, I'm not a registered nurse. When somebody fall out or something, don't be, because one time we was at the club, right? This dude's having a seizure or something. I was like, Karin, help her. She's a nurse. Like my girl got it. She about to save him.
Dude passed out.
Like, don't do that.
But Karin, let me tell you, it happened to me 3 times. Okay. The first time it happened to me, I was at my cousin's wedding rehearsal dinner in Georgia.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sitting next to my auntie, we eating food, and then my auntie nudging me like, something over there wrong with that lady. And I'm sitting there like, I'm eating, and I'm sitting there like,
Karin,
let me tell you something. I'm eating, and then she was like, she looked like she zoned out, like they look like they checking her pulse, and I'm sitting there like, I was just like, I better get up because she ain't gonna let me. She was like,
right, like me.
I got up, went over there, and I was like asking them questions, but luckily her sons, it was like 3 doctors there, honey. I said, okay, good. They helped carry her upstairs. We got her down. We put her feet up. Like, I'm like, shoot, I'm checking, like, does she have any medical history? Like, you know what I mean? But we had doctors there. I said, you guys can tell me what you want me to do. But she had it covered with all them, people, they had Fluent. They had a freaking Superman helipad in the front of that place. I was like, I ain't never seen no stuff like this here. Right. But anyway, and then the other thing was I was out having a drink, watching a game at this local place. And this dude, like, he came in. I know he didn't get drunk, but he was sitting on the stool and he like fell off the stool and he just was not responding, over, sweating, diaphoretic. And then Will, the dude, my friend, he said, Karin, like I get pushed out into the, in all situations, I'm having drinks, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, all right. So, I mean, I went and it was some other person there and I gave the ambulance people report, but I told her, the reason I was like, look, I don't have a nursing license in Jamaica. All right. The only person I will stop and help is you. Okay. I said, them people, they should know what to do in case of emergency.
So you're not a first responder.
And small children.
But she told me more than once, though.
Yeah.
She was like, don't go pushing me to try to save somebody.
Don't be like, oh, this person got shot.
Like, she gonna save you. My friend is gonna save you. She's a nurse.
I'd be like, I'm on vacation. I should get a shirt that
like
says,
she's always
on vacation.
I'm always on duty.
Girl.
Look at Shawana.
So noted.
Yeah. Like, if I'm on, I got a California nursing license. It do not extend beyond California, unless it's somebody in my group. You know, you go out there and something go wrong, they gonna want to sue you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're taking your house.
But if it's somebody, you know, like I helped with Dante's stuff. You know, I'll help out. But I'm not about to be in the public drinking and then y'all like, okay.
Right.
But stranger, I'll check. I did check though. I did check in California, but in another country.
But we didn't see nobody who needed help.
It was nothing but God.
We were good.
Right. Nothing but God.
We were good. We were
like, please don't fall out. Please don't fall out.
So Karin, does your family like you being home all the time?
I would just not knowing, but I would have to just say yes, because the accessibility, you know, if I was at work, what would happen is they'll be texting me multiple times. So I think so. They like the accessibility. They can come, they know I'm in here and where I'm at all the time. So I think they like that.
I think it seems like right now, it seems like everybody's getting along so well.
It's one or two things I heard with COVID. You either gonna be getting along really well, and for those who are still fertile, reproducing, or you're gonna be getting along really bad. And for those who are shaky, talking about divorce.
Right. Well, the people that I've been around, like my friends and family members who are married or just, well, for the most part, like 90% of them have gotten along better. Even like with the kids, like me and my sons, you know, it has been smoother this past year. And like the people who I know that are married, with the exception of 2 people, their marriage is strong. And so they've been getting along pretty good. And they kind of surprised themselves, especially at first when everybody was at home. And like the husband would go to work, but he was at home and he was not used to that at all. But they did really, really well. Plus they have like a big house. So then, you know, you could be in your part of the house, they could be over there in their part of the house, and everything just flowed really good. So for the most part, the people that I know have been getting along really, really well with their children or husbands, boyfriends, whoever they live with. So that's a blessing.
I only can imagine though, because luckily I have adult children. I mean, I got the grandbaby about to be 3, but the parents that have those multiple kids in school.
Yeah, my sister. Yeah.
I'm like, I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
I would be like, I need to get away.
I couldn't imagine like if Kiana and Ronnie were little and this happened, like they would have been fighting and trying to kill each other. Well, they said that they wouldn't, but they were doing that anyway. So I couldn't imagine that. But luckily I just have my one son. The only thing I have to worry about him doing is falling asleep and you know, staying up all night and stuff like that. But he's not like arguing with anybody or fighting with anybody, because it's just him and me. So that's one good thing. But my sister, with the 3 little kids at home, they actually do really, really well. Even when her husband works from home, she has the 3 little kids on Zoom, and then her daughter is on her class on Zoom. She has a grandbaby. Everybody's like pretty cool for the most part. You know what I'm saying? They listen. They're attentive, you know, in the classroom and all that stuff. So she's blessed because she doesn't have the problems with them acting up, or, you know what I'm saying, or not wanting to be present in school. So.
And where you establish that routine with them and it's structured and you're there to enforce and support, you know, kids are resilient that way though. I love it. I mean, I don't have it, but I know my godbaby, you know, watching her sit and do it and learn and just, you know, some are not But sometimes it has to do with your environment, your structure, some of the things that, you know, whether it's hunger, you know, other things that you you don't have because your environment has shifted and changed it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that part is sad because the kids are suffering. Like when I did the interview with my my son and my you know, Darius and Demarion, just hearing them talk about like how they miss school, like they want to be back in school so bad.
Interaction.
They feel like they're missing out of learning, right? So they're gonna feel like they have this whole year gap in their learning, and they're gonna be behind everyone else.
That learning loss.
Yeah, that part is sad. I feel bad for them on that part.
Yeah, that learning loss is educational, but it's also the physical,
social.
Yes, that social piece. I mean, look at us.
Right.
I mean, hell, thank goodness we have technology. Right. But you know, if this pandemic had hit, you know, 20 some odd years ago, 30 some odd years ago.
No,
right.
Anyway. I don't know how that would have worked.
It would have been a lot more crime, you know, that was in the 90s.
All right. Thank you, ladies, so much for being on my show. I really appreciate you. Please keep up the good work. Thank you for all the work that you're doing for me. You know, you guys are like my big support system. You super duper encourage me. You check me when I need to be checked. I really appreciate that and love you so much.
Check.
And like I said, thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for all the work that you do for your families, our community, the world. And we can't wait to see the awesome things that you have stored in the future. And we'll have you on more too to talk about other topics, especially like Girl Chat. But and thank you everybody for watching Novene CTV. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Also click the notification bell so you can get a notification when I put out new videos. And thank you so much for your support. I'm wishing you peace, love, and light. Bye. Thank you.